The dashboard clock reads 2:45 a.m. The music of your tires rolling on the freeway is the only sound you hear. You are heading home after a brutal double shift. Then the siren no driver wants to hear. Your rearview mirror suddenly comes alive with an explosion red and blue emergency lights. You are being pulled over. Your pulse hammers while you glance at the odometer. You were not speeding and your registration is current. You signal, slow down, and park on the shoulder of the road. Then place your hands in a clear, visible position on the steering wheel. The officer approaches with a bright, searing flashlight that pings your eyes and cuts through your cabin like a sword. He takes your documents and disappears into the darkness of his patrol unit. 10 minutes later, he returns and gives back your information. With a stern face, he says your license plate light is out and asks about a small windshield crack you've had for months. Then a casual smile appears, and he says he is going to let you off with only a verbal warning. You feel the weight lift off your chest as you reach for the ignition. But, as he turns to leave, he pivots near your doorframe and in a lowered voice asks if you have anything illegal in the car. And would you mind if he takes a quick look in your trunk? That exact moment is a legal minefield millions of citizens fall into, where they accidentally surrender their constitutional protections. They enter the twilight zone of traffic ticket hell. Right now, we are about to teach you that the cop's question is his secret weakness, an admission that they may have no case at all. If this video has told you something, please tap the bell and hit the subscribe button. You won't have to search the web when you need legal knowledge, so no right to hold you any longer. That their legal foundation may be extremely weak. At this moment, your Fourth Amendment shield of protection is at its full strength. And the cop is asking you to lay it down, put it on the ground. Before 1925, the inside of a car had a privacy protection that was very similar to the sanctity of a person's home. It required a high-level keycard, called a search warrant, to inspect. But all that changed that year in the case of Carroll versus the United States. That's when the Supreme Court gave birth to the automobile exception to the search warrant requirement. The justices said that vehicles were fundamentally different from a stationary home, because they can vanish across state lines in minutes. However, the automobile exception does not mean police have a free pass to dismantle your upholstery and rip out your seats. They must possess probable cause before searching a vehicle. Probable cause cannot be based on gut feelings or hunches. It requires that law enforcement possess articulable facts that would lead a reasonable person to believe a crime is currently in progress. If they do not have it, they are legally paralyzed from entering to search unless you invite them in. Welcome to the Four Eyes of Law. I am Larry J. Brookins, a California trial attorney with over 25 years of litigation experience. Now here, be especially careful, because this is where an officer may try to bypass your Fourth Amendment shield by engaging you in casual conversation.
Hey, ma'am.
Hi.
How are you?
Designed to make you incriminate yourself. Following the Fourth is the Fifth Amendment. It is your secondary line of defense, which grants you the right to remain silent. Thus, the Fourth protects your space, the Fifth protects your mouth. When an officer asks if you have anything illegal, he is looking for you to open your mouth and speak, voluntarily waiving your right to remain silent. However, there is a little twist here. To invoke your silence right, you must claim it by speaking, but only say this: I wish to remain silent. Or the simpler statement, I plead the Fifth. This may also serve to kick in your Sixth Amendment right, which is the right to have an attorney present, which effectively ends any roadside interrogation. These amendments work together to ensure you do not provide the state with the very evidence they need to arrest you. So, note, if an officer has probable cause in the first place, they will not need to ask for your consent. They can simply issue a legal command for you to exit the vehicle and begin tearing through your stuff. However, when they turn to a person and ask for consent to search, this often telegraphs a hidden message. That coded message is that they do not have a valid right to search. Otherwise, why would they be asking? Think about it. That cop is telling you he may lack the legal authority to hunt through your property, so he or she is fishing for a magic keycard called voluntary consent. Once you say, sure, go ahead, you now work for the police. You have become their assistant to work against yourself. Thus, your constitutional protections instantly evaporate. Anything they find from that moment on is 100% admissible in a court of law. You cannot challenge a search that you authorized. Now, take note that the recent 2015 case of Rodriguez versus the Supreme Court strengthened and clarified the rights of citizens during police stops. The U.S. Supreme Court held that once a police officer completes the necessary work for a simple traffic stop, their job is finished. Rodriguez effectively placed a clock limit on how much time a traffic detention can take. Police cannot overextend a traffic stop to investigate other unknown criminal activity unless there exists an independent, reasonable suspicion of a separate crime. This video is for information only and not intended to provide specific legal advice about a person, case, or to establish an attorney-client relationship. The police cannot legally stall you on the shoulder of the road to find a reason to search you. Every second they hold you past the completion of the ticket task is a potential violation of your civil rights. If they do not have reasonable suspicion of a new crime, they must let you go on about your way. Adios, amigo. When the officer asks to search, remain behind your Fourth Amendment constitutional shield. You do not need to be aggressive about it or use profanity. Simply and respectfully cite this phrase: "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." This statement is powerful because it is a legal assertion that removes all ambiguity. It creates a clean record for your attorney to use in a suppression hearing to throw out evidence. It signals to the officer that you are an educated citizen who knows the rules of the game. The Bill of Rights was not written for criminals, but to keep the government out of the lives of the innocent. Most people surrender their privacy because they are afraid or too bashful to engage in a 5-minute conversation with an officer. You now have the knowledge to stand strong in your position. Thanks for watching The 4 Eyes of Law, and check out our next video.